So when the epidemic started, and my community, my people were devastated, it was very clear that this was the proving ground, that if we were a community, this was the time to show it.
Several infectious disease physicians were seeing a very unusual pneumonia in young men without any known cause.
Scientists at the National Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta today released the results of a study which shows that the lifestyle of some male homosexuals has triggered an epidemic of a rare form of cancer.
Researchers know of 413 people who have contracted the condition in the past year. 1/3 have died and none have been cured.
Every year on November 27th in San Francisco, we reenact the candlelight march that occurred the night that Harvey Milk and Mayor George Moscone were assassinated. As people gathered for the candlelight march in November of 1985, I had stacks of poster board and magic markers, and I had Harvey Milk's old bullhorn that he'd given me. And I talked to the crowd and I said, you know, we're here to remember Harvey and George, but we've lost a lot more. How many of you know someone who's died of this new disease? And everybody had. So I told them, write down their names. And some of them were ashamed to do it. They were, you know, John or, you know, BW or something. And then one kid printed out his brother's full name. And underneath it wrote, my brother, he's dead. And other people looked at that and began to become ashamed of their shame and began to write the first and last names. And saying this in 2012, you know, it's hard to imagine what a simple act of courage that was, just to name them.
And we put placards on the federal building.
It was a cold, damp night with drizzle and no speeches or chanting or anything like that. Just thousands of people standing and whispering. I knew him. I went to school with him. I didn't know he was sick. When did he die? Nobody told me. And I got to the edge of the crowd and I looked back over the crowd at all these people standing and looking at that patchwork of names. And I thought to myself, it looks like some kind of strange quilt.
In the sky, also on the faces of people passing by, I see friends shaking hands singing, how do you do? They really say, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like a lemon drop.
Stigma is sometimes worse than the disease itself, and so we don't talk about it in the way we should.
The parameters are 3 by 6, the size of a standard grave. And so in many ways, this is the largest mobile cemetery. So whenever you are present, in the presence of this quilt, you are standing on holy ground.